Um, did you watch Wendy Williams?
I did. So
She had a movie and a documentary that came on this
I
weekend.
need to actually watch the documentary. I actually really want to watch the documentary, but it's so long. But I definitely want to watch it. Because here's the thing too with Wendy Williams, and for those who don't know, she like to Whitney's point, she's got a she's got a movie out on Lifetime that talks about her life and her marriage with Kevin Hunter. And it just basically talks about, how she got into the business and how she's kind of trailblazed and made a name for herself alongside her husband, who we know um, has been pictured in the tabloids as really kind of like the devil. I mean, he had a baby on her. He's cheated on her. He's been a serial cheater for years. He had like a whole family for 16 years, even while he was with her up and through their marriage. So there's just been all these things. Now, to Wendy's credit, she has come out and said that she's known about all these things. She's always known that he's been a serial cheater. Even when she found out about stuff, she was like, I let it slide because I knew that at some point I was going to leave him, and I couldn't do it when a lot of people were telling me to do it because we still had a son that, I was trying to protect. My parents were still alive, and I didn't want that whole thing to play out, in a way that it shouldn't have. And also, she admitted that she would be responsible for spousal support. So she wanted to do it on her terms, apparently. And the reason why it took 23, 25, however many years to do it, now she's here and she doesn't regret waiting as long as she did because she was able to do it, divorce him in a way that she had control of doing it. Even though she pays him spousal support, she now has control of doing it. So the movie basically talks about all of that. And then she does have a documentary out on Lifetime as well. So I thought the movie was good.
The movie was good. The documentary is just way more detail,
Is
and
it? Okay.
you can see how much of a mess she is. She is drunkenly crying damn near the whole time.
God.
Um, just a mess, just a hot ass mess. Basically, is just very. I just can't even believe she signed off on it, to be honest. But I know she's part like producer, so
Well, that's why she said she had to
she
do it. She said the opportunity came, and she said, you all know how Lifetime does. If you're not a part of it, it can really be potentially a hot mess. And she was like, when the opportunity presented itself, I knew I had to do it because I was going to be able to at least help with telling of my story. So that's kind of,
Yeah, I mean, it was a good movie for what it was. I feel like it was really, really rushed. It
yeah.
focused way too much on Kevin and her marriage. Like, I understand that that's a big topic right now because of the whole drama and it happened publicly and all of that. But at the end of the day, Wendy Williams is a legend with this, gossip shit, with this
And that's
radio
kind of what I
shit.
wanted us to talk about
She
too, was that,
is
yeah.
a legend. She's the reason why basically we're doing what we're doing right now. Like
The
people
Shade
want,
Room is doing what they're doing,
yeah, and us
TMZ.
talking, right, us talking about what we're talking about now, hot topics. That's her shit, hot topics. She invented it. I just feel like they rushed through so much and they spent so much time on Kevin, and it's really just because Wendy is not over it, for one. And you can clearly tell she's not over it. She's very sad. She looks very sad. Um, and then for two, I just feel like they tried to use it for the ratings and stuff, like the whole story of the cheating, which I get it. He's a cheater or whatever, but it's just like everybody gets cheated on. Like, who don't get cheated on? Like, I'm just saying it's not no huge breaking story where we have to spend half of the fucking movie talking about it, in my opinion. Um, I also just feel like, it it's sad it had to happen this way publicly, but she knew who he was. Like, even in the movie, she caught him cheating when her baby was like a week out the hospital. So that right
And he
there,
was
that
cheating
was
while she was pregnant.
cheating while she's pregnant, after she had 2, 3, 4, 5 abortions, had to deliver stillborn babies, went through the worst
Miscarriages.
experiences a woman could ever go through. So 25, 27 years ago, whenever this was, she had the opportunity to leave that man before he became entangled into all of her career and everything she did. She saw who he was when that baby was a baby. She could have decided then and there, okay, if this man is going to cheat on me at this time when I'm fucking going through all this shit with my body, I done went through labor, I had to go through all this to get pregnant, and then you can't even just be here for me. Like, you're literally cheating on me when we just had a baby. That should tell you right there that man doesn't give a fuck. Period. And it's not gonna change 20 years down the line. Like, come on. I'm just saying it's sad because God gave her an opportunity, showed her who this man was, and now she's going to be tied to him for however many years, paying him alimony probably till the day he die, and everyone, and now he's part of her legacy. It's fucked up, but it's also just a reminder, follow your intuition. When God shows you who the fuck people are, believe that shit. Period. As much as it hurts, it's going to hurt even more later.
Yeah, and I think that also when she was saying that the reason why she stayed was because of her son, and that, you know, even though she knew all these things, she hired a PI, private investigator, all these things, that she's like, I knew the girl was pregnant before she knew she was pregnant, and all these different things. I still even believe that's a cop out.
So
I
sad.
do believe that she knew who he was all these years, but I also feel like she stayed for other reasons outside of like her just saying she wanted to end it how she wanted to end it. I don't know if I believe that. I think that what it was the baby was probably the breaking point. And I think that she's even said that in a few interviews, which kind of contradicts what she's saying, because my thing is, if the baby wasn't to be here, the cheating and all that still would remain. So then would you still be married and just continue to allow more and more time to go by to eventually leave him by when? You know, so I just, it's a very, very sad situation. It's a very huge staple in when she's basically saying, you know, that she is hurt but she's stronger for it. Because I'm like, even by you saying that she just looks super hurt, she's crying in the documentary, even the interviews that I've seen her in, she's made jokes about stuff, and people are like, well, Wendy, that doesn't seem funny. And she's like, well, come on, what am I mean, if I don't make a joke about it, you know, have you heard the saying, if you can't laugh about it, you'll cry, you know? You know, she's like, what am I going to do? Like, I have to make some sort of light about the situation, or I will be in a box. I will be in my
She's just
closet.
really not in a good place. Like, she shouldn't have done the documentary. I hate it for her because she's gonna look like, when she is healed, and she will be healed, she will get over it. When she is and she looks back at that, she's gonna be like, oh my God, because she just looks like the documentary is a nail in the coffin, because she has this one scene where she's talking about how Kevin's gonna want her back and wish he had her back. And I'm like, not looking like this, he's not. He's not gonna
Mm-mm.
wish he had you back when you're sitting up here snot drilling out your nose, drunk or high. We don't even know. She claims she's not doing drugs anymore, which is just, I don't know what to believe about that. But it just, she's not in a good place. She's not. And I just feel like somebody in her team should have told her, look, maybe not now, maybe, you know what I'm saying, work on the project and then release it when things aren't so fresh, when the
Right.
wounds aren't so fresh, maybe.
Right.
Because once you see the documentary, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just, she's a mess, like, literally.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but even in the short videos that I've seen her doing interviews, she cannot talk about this without not crying. Like, and I mean, it's the ugly cry, and people be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She's like, "No, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. Like, I just, you know," and she'll try to pull herself together. Like, she literally can't have an interview without crying, talking about this. So she's clearly still a very, very, very open wound.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, my advice to people would be, if you, like you said, when someone shows you who they are, you have to believe them. You cannot
As much
just
as
be
it
like, you
hurts,
know
you
what, they're
have
gonna
to.
change, they love me. This man had a whole, I don't think people understand, this man had a whole other family. Like, a whole family for 16 years while he was still doing all the things he was doing with Wendy, for Wendy, even the time he was spending with Wendy, he still managed to have time to lie and be with another family. And so, for those reasons, your relationship even started out, unbeknownst to you at the time, it started off on a false reality. So therefore, you can never have expected him to now be like, oh, now I'm this changed person. I'm not saying people can't change, but that's a big, big thing to continuously uphold and continue to live out for that period of time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a good he you didn't have good bones to begin with. It's not like he didn't have a family. You guys started out really, really solid, and everybody was coming to the table telling the truth. Bear me all, this is who I am, this is blah blah blah. And then over the course of the years something happened. It started out fucked up.
Yeah. And he was, I think she said when they got married, she was 30 and he was 23 or 24.
Oh, so
He's
older than him.
He's like 7 years younger than her. So it was already just like this, he wasn't ready for all that. And she even admits in the movie or in the documentary that he didn't want to get married, but she did. And then, they were going to push it off. But once she had that second miscarriage, he was like, let's just get married. And so that's how they ended up getting married. But
which is bullshit.
Yeah.
You cannot get married to please the other partner. It never works. I've heard these stories way too many times, where it's like the guy doesn't want to be married, but the girl has been dating. You guys have been together for 6-7 years, and everybody's like, oh, hey, y'all still ain't married. Y'all still ain't married. And now the woman feels pressure, and she's putting that pressure on the man. And the man is like, okay, fine, fuck it. Let's get married. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Like,
it's just not, why do you even want to go into some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? And I understand that things were way more complicated with Wendy because she's not a regular person. You're talking
Correct.
about businesses and millions of dollars. And my thing is, I just wish she could have squashed that before he was so immersed in her life, because it became a point where she couldn't even leave, like you said, because this man is your manager. He's doing business deals for you.
Yep.
He is tied into this $1 million contract. Like, it's not as easy as, okay, I'm done, I want a divorce. Like, it's just not that easy. But it could have been that easy if she had just did it when she knew it wasn't working. I just feel like if a man can cheat on you when you are pregnant or have a small child or baby, then he's gonna cheat on you for the rest of your fucking life, because that's the time you need the most attention and affection. When you're going through motherhood, pregnancy, or taking care of an infant. And if a man can cheat on you during those crucial times, he'll cheat on you whenever. He's definitely gonna cheat on you when the kid's in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, if
a person can cheat on you, and for me, I feel like if a person, baby or no baby, if a person has continuously cheated on you for years.
Well, of course, but I'm just saying, if that first time is when you're fucking pregnant or you just delivered their child,
but that wasn't the first
problem.
time. He started out with a family, so he was been fucking.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard about that. I'm just going by the documentary and what she disclosed in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie,
according to the documentary and the movie,
got married.
I don't know what she knew. I don't know what she knew or what she didn't know, but she claims that she didn't realize he was cheating until right around the time when she was pregnant or whatever. And she caught him on the phone. She caught him on the phone. Yeah. So she realized the first time, according to her, when she was carrying his child. Like, if a man can't respect you when you're fucking carrying his child or taking care of his infant, it's a problem. I mean, I'm just saying, that's like, there's no hope there. I don't think there's no hope.
I didn't see it all, so on all sides. So I just feel like crazy. If a man is gonna cheat, he's gonna cheat, and he's gonna continue to cheat, and he's gonna especially continue to cheat if you allow it. So, and she said numerous times that she knew what was going on, and she knew. I mean, she said it. She doesn't deny it, and I respect her for at least
I mean,
sharing
she
her
said that
truth.
she knew, but then she kind of said she didn't know. Like she said she had a feeling and that she would believe him when he said he was just his homeboys at the other apartment. And she got the PI. And then she found out about the house because his friend told her about the house. So it's like she was playing these detector gadget games
So you
when you
knew.
already knew. You already knew. So why were you even spending money on a PI? Why were you following him to his house? Like, let that man cheat in peace because you already knew.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Facts. But more and more people out here put up with that type of stuff and, wonder why. I think too many people ask the wrong questions within their situations, which is like, you don't love me, you don't want to be with me, why do you keep doing this to me? It's like, why do you keep subjecting yourself to a situation where no longer serves you and your morals? Like, stop asking the person who keeps doing you wrong, oh my god, why are you doing this? Don't leave me. Oh my god, are you going to do this? Are you going to, oh my god, what am I doing? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. By you staying and subjecting yourself to this, and now you've been turned into somebody who you don't even know. You could have been a perfectly regular, secure, super trustworthy individual who just had her own life and saw flowers and shit, and now you're like PI on steroids and about to lose your job, because like this shit really can turn you into somebody else if
Girl,
you don't leave. And
happens every day,
please
B.
believe that there is nothing worse on the other side than what you're staying in right now. A lot of times we're like, and I really believe that Wendy felt like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I personally felt like she got him intertangled into all her dealings and all that kind of stuff to trap him.
Oh
Meaning
yeah.
like
She
to
thought
trap,
he
like
would
I
never
believe that I
leave.
believe she designed it that way for a reason that she probably doesn't even want to share with us. But because like you said, she could have walked away prior to,
Yeah.
all of this
She
getting
said there
to
was
the
little she said
of
there was little like in the documentary she said there was little things that she would do basically to boost his ego as her
yeah.
manager. So basically she would make little business deals for herself, but then she would tell Kevin, she's like, "Oh, Kevin, call so and so and get the contracts together." Knowing she done already kind of did the deal on the backside, but she wanted to make it seem like he did it. So she would send
So
it to him
see,
to
proves my point
close
right
it.
there.
That's
Didn't
what I'm
even have
saying.
to watch the documentary.
All that little ego boosting bullshit that you did that you thought was going to make him stay around and it still didn't. And it
He didn't
sucks.
appreciate it. If anything, he saw you as a come up. He saw you as an opportunity. What I will say is, I can't say that he doesn't. I don't know how he felt about you or feels about you over the last several years that you guys were together. But what I will say is that it is blatantly clear that someone who continuously disrespects you and you continuously find out and they continuously still do the same thing that you've had conversations with them in year one, now it's year 20, year 15, year 17, you have to ask your own self some questions. And I don't feel bad for her because of the fact of her knowing all these things and stuff like that, but I do sympathize with her in the sense of, as a woman, I'm sure in the beginning there were things that she didn't know that she did discover. And as a woman or as a person, if you love somebody, you do try to overlook certain things, or you try to believe them, or
You
you
do.
know
And you try to make it
so
work for your
you
kids so
try
you
to
can
make it
have
work for the
that
family, for the
family
kids. You don't
household. Because Wendy
exact
grew up with her parents being married
two
for
parents
her whole
loving.
life. So
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sure she wanted that as well. I don't
Absolutely.
fault her, but it's a hard lesson that we all have to learn. I'm just glad I don't have to learn it when I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
That part.
that's
That
it.
part. You will waste years of your life. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Get out while you still can. It don't take 15 years for me to be like, you still gonna do this to me? You still gonna do that? For me to no. I
Yeah.
don't have this. I may die tomorrow. And I refuse to die of a broken heart of something that I have subjected myself to continuously
Right.
with your
I had
bullshit.
to learn that, as I went through life or whatever. But
Yeah.
I remember hearing somebody speak. I want to say it was this guy. He's like some guy on YouTube, and it always stuck with me. He was just like, stand firm on your deal breakers. He's like, before you go into any situation, like you would a negotiation for a job or anything, he was like, if you're going into a relationship, stand firm on your deal breakers from the beginning before you're
Right.
really emotionally invested. And then if you remember what those deal breakers were at the beginning, no matter how you feel, while you're in the thick of it, you have to stand on your deal breakers, because if you don't, people will test you and they'll be like, okay, she said she'd never tolerate that, and now she's tolerating it, so I know now she'll tolerate everything. If you say you don't fuck with nobody cheating on you and you'll leave them, if they do, leave them. Like, you
don't
have
come
to
back.
stand on your
do not come back.
You have
do
to
not
stand
come
on
back.
your deal breakers.
It does not work when you leave and you leave for a month and come back.
They can chase you. You can't go back.
They can chase you. You do not go back. You do not go back. You do not go back. That is the solve. That's the solve of it. Because at the end of the day, you show yourself. Again, you disrespect yourself every single time you go back to something that has humiliated you. Period.
Yeah. I could do bad by myself.
You can do bad all by yourself.
All I know. I do not need another motherfucker to do bad.
You do not need to turn into a private investigator and watch people. You don't.
No, it will destroy
that's
you.
Not healing. That's not going to solve anything. If anything, that's going to turn you into a crazy person, because what's happening is those people are still going to live their life, and you're probably going to see them do well, and you're going to wish misery on certain people, and they're still doing well, and you can't figure out how to now stop following people or stop keeping up with people because of the person you lay down with at night. That's who you should take your issues up with. Or leave. You either deal with it or you leave. Those are the only two choices these days. So, what else we got going on?
That's all I got, y'all. That's it.
That was deep. That was the deep episode. I mean, it's true though. Like, it's just, it's a lot of fuckery going on out here, and I think the heart is the heart. I think the heart is the heart, but we have to start using our head a lot more now. Like, disconnecting from the two, because this right here will get you fucked up. This right here, it'll get you fucked up, and this right here will keep you sane. So if your mind,
you got to find a good connect between the two. And
the good connect between the two.
It's called intuition. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody has it, and you need to follow it, because you will always know.
For no reason.
You will always know. A woman will always know. You don't even need proof. You don't need anything.
And that's what I was going to say. You don't even need proof. You don't need proof.
Nope.
You don't need proof.
I don't need proof for shit now. I don't even, if I have a feeling of anything, I don't even care. It's just, nope, this ain't it. This ain't working.
Done. I'm out. I don't trust you. Like those memes, nobody. Yeah, I'm good on you right now. It's like nobody said anything, and it's just like me talking to him. Like, yeah, I'm.
But see, most women just aren't gonna do it, and men know this. They know that women don't want to be alone. They know that women want to start families. They want to be in a relationship, so they use that to your disadvantage. They're gonna use that and get away with what they can, because they know how desperate most women are to be in a relationship. And
one thing I'm learning too about women is it's a competition. If they know another woman has come into the play, it no longer is about me and that man anymore, right? It's about me and this other bitch. So it's like, I've got to prove to this person that I'm the chosen one, that I'm here, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. But a lot of times it becomes a competition where, yeah, but you see me and him happy, but it's like, don't because I was just with him last night. You know, like, it's just like that whole, you have to. It's
just like that song, girl. He's mine. You may have had him once, but I got him all the time.
The stupidest song.
Girl.
It went hard, but that's the stupidest song.
Girl.
Because you can't have him all the time.
Like, so you proud of that, huh? You
proud of saying you have him all the time, but yet this other person only had him once. You couldn't have had him all the time if I had him once.
You
So,
got him some of the time.
girl, you get him some. Again, you with somebody that's telling you both y'all need to chill.
My man is your man, and your man is
That's
my
my
man
man,
too.
honey, bitch. We sharing, okay? It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy out here, but you have to love you enough to act and stand firm in what your beliefs are. And I think a lot of times women, we don't know what we believe in anymore because we've wasted so much time and invested so much time into somebody. You're
It's
scared to
hard,
start all
man.
over. You don't want to see him happy with somebody else. You don't, so you'd rather be miserable or at least content, right? You rather just put up with whatever it is and hope that they change, for you, than just starting over or being by yourself.
Mm.
So
It's sad. And
I
the sad part
really
is
fun.
y'all be trying not to leave these, shitty ass dudes. And what's gonna fuck around and happen is they leave you. And
Yep.
that shit's gonna hurt even worse. It's gonna
Mhm.
hurt worse when they leave you after they done fucked around on you.
And don't let them get no money
Oh,
because
don't let them get the come up.
don't let them get no money. If you with him when he was broke and now he's got some money, that's fine. But if he was
Oh
treating you
my
like shit when he was
God.
grinding and doing all that, and now he's coming into a little bit of money, baby, I'm just telling you,
They're gonna be like,
money
who is
magnifies
you?
who men, girl. Don't let them get no more money. That is more freedom and more access. Okay. So, and I'm
That's
not
what's up.
speaking to the ones who are doing right before they come into money and all that kind of stuff. I'm speaking to
Yeah.
the
It's,
ones
it's
that are
just a
treat you
tale
like
as old
shit.
as time. We've seen this happen over and over and over again. Like,
Exactly.
this is
Exactly.
just human nature at this point. Shit, I
And
don't
it's just
know.
gonna make you more. It's gonna make it more hard to leave when they do have money. So if they were treating you like shit on the grind, like they didn't really have shit, now they come into some money. Yeah, you may be entitled to some of it, but that doesn't mean like now it's gonna be even harder for you to leave because you're now gonna be like, you know what, I like this lifestyle,
Yep, and they know it.
and they know it.
Oh, it's hard out here for a pimp.
It's
It's
all
crazy.
out here for a pimp. So
Keep
yeah,
y'all heads up, y'all.
keep your heads up, keep your heart safe. Um, work on your self-esteem.
Yeah, shout out
Stop
Wendy Williams
stalking
though.
people. Stop following people. Stop hiring private investigators. Save yourself your
I
coins.
know.
Save yourself
I
y'all's
honestly,
time.
I just hope somebody's watching over Wendy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just hope she's okay. Like, she just seems very,
And she kept saying too, did you catch that she kept saying one thing I'm good at is being my own best friend?
yeah.
I felt so
She's her
bad when
own
she
best
said that.
friend.
I felt
Yeah, I
so
mean,
bad when she said that.
I agree with her though.
Because
That's not
yes,
bad.
we each should be our own best friend, right? Like in the grand scheme, yes, I get what she's saying, but it was something about her saying that where I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, what was crazy is she said it when she was doing coke. So I was like, it's looking like drugs is your best friend.
mm-hmm,
For real. But it's just sad that because of who she is, she hasn't had that many friends. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
She ain't had that many, like you can just tell, like seeing her, in public. I think Kevin was the closest thing to that, like confidant.
yeah,
And, so it's like now I'm sure, and then her mom just died.
right.
She's just, and then her brother's upset and was on social media talking about she wasn't at the funeral. So I just feel like she don't have a lot of people right now. And I just hope there's just one person who like, can be there for her
I do
because
too.
I just really can feel her pain. She's not in a good place. She's in a dark place right now.
She's in a very dark place, and one thing I will say is Wendy Williams is a legend. She's
She
definitely
is.
paved. She's created a lane for um how most of us are able to do certain jobs, how media is portrayed, how networks are portrayed, and the things that
Yeah.
we're allowed to now do and to spark our interest. And
I think she should have a series. I think
all of this is based on Wendy Williams. And
wouldn't you
so
watch more of that? Like if the movie was longer, like I feel like if she had a series or something,
they
or
could have did it, but to me, they could have did a 2-part movie.
they could have get a 2 or 3 part, because I even went back and listened to like some of her iconic interviews, like the Whitney Houston one,
Yep,
TLC, Tony Braxton. She
yep.
has so much shit she could have like reenacted and played. Like they didn't do none of it. I'm just
Hmm.
like,
They had to
I don't
crunch
even
it
know
all
how
in.
she yeah, we don't even know how she got to like being in radio stations. Like they literally went from her being a child
Yeah,
doing coke in her car, like a grown ass woman
yeah.
at work. So
Yeah.
like we don't even know what happened all that time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Shout out to her. I feel like it did really well. So maybe she'll get more opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely. And I also think it serves as a reminder to the people who don't know about her past and how she got started. And now that it is kind of, she is in the media. Yes, she's always had her own TV show, radio shows, and all that kind of stuff, but there is a new group of a generation out here. And
Yep.
with the type of climate we're in and we've been in, and the type of climate we're continuing to go in, I think that it's always awesome to do some history lessons and being like, well, oh damn, so she's the one. They weren't allowed to talk about people's business, celebrity gossip back then on
Right.
the radios. No, hell no. Wendy
They
just took it
hated
upon
her for
herself.
that.
Just one day she got an opportunity and she just ran with it, and it just so happened it stuck and the person loved it, and that's how that happened. But
She
she also
started it.
sacrificed a lot for it. She was like one of the number one most hated people because of it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people think that it's her karma. And she's even said in recent interviews that I've watched that she believes that this is her karma, for talking about people in their
Yeah.
business all these years. She's like, I accept the fact that this might be my karma.
It broke my heart because she said that in her documentary that like after she had her second miscarriage and she had to give birth to the stillborn at 5 months, she just was so depressed and she just kept saying that they were right. Like, this is God punishing me for talking about people. And it just broke my heart. It's so sad. Because I'm like, I honestly don't think Wendy Williams is vicious. I think she just asks the questions we all want to know.
Well,
She doesn't what do you call it? Like, she doesn't kiss up to celebrities. That's it. Like,
right. Because
celebrities are
her
used
theory
to
is
everyone
that
catering to them.
you guys are portraying a certain image, and if there is some bullshit going on, we have the right to know about both sides.
Hmm.
She's always said that. She's just like, you guys spend a lot of money portraying and pushing this image out on us to buy into that particular brand that you want us to see. And so therefore, if there's some other shit that's relatable that we as people and humans can identify with about certain parts of you, because we're all going through shit. She says we're all going through shit, So this
Yeah,
human,
she doesn't come mean. I mean, people may call her blunt, but I've never just heard her be like downright just pick on somebody. It's just like she just doesn't care. It's
well,
not
I think it just comes down to, sometimes you haven't had a conversation. It's almost kind of like someone beating you to the punch. Well, at least not now, but back in the day, especially
Yeah.
when it took time for things to come out and simmer. I think it became a situation where it was like, I hadn't even told my family this, or maybe I didn't want to tell my family this. And so now
Right.
people have this information that's out there,
Mhm.
and it's almost kind of like you don't give a damn about my privacy and the way in which I want to share it to the world. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I get both sides of it. Especially now, because I was born into this kind of like, not social media, but I was born into now the magazines and all that kind of stuff where the headlines, and now it's just taken off into what it's taken off to. But I can definitely see when this wasn't going on and how it opened up and how it could have looked, because Total was outside ready to whoop her ass. So
Yeah, but the thing about it was Total should have been thanking her because they really were broke. Diddy really was stealing their money.
exactly, but
So it's just like she
it's that
outed y'all, but
image.
she was like, Diddy should be paying y'all.
But it's
Period.
that
Like, y'all
image.
were trying to
But I
sugarcoat
also think it
shit.
was just the image that they wanted people to buy into. They didn't want people
Yeah.
to know they were broke. So yeah, I do think that if it helped them get some money, if it
Right.
didn't, it made things worse, then I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm biased. I've always been a Wendy Williams fan. I've always liked her, like her shows, her
Yeah.
content.
I
So
like Wendy as
shout
a
out Wendy
personality. I
Williams.
liked Wendy as a personality. I've always thought that she was funny. I always liked the way that she told a story. Because it's that too. Like, it's the dramatics, the antics, the ad libs. And you know, I,
She's just great. She's
she's just Wendy
memorable.
Williams. She's Wendy Williams.
Yeah,
And God forbid, whenever she does
I
go
fuck
and
with
be with
her.
the Lord, people
Mhm.
will at least give her some flowers, while she's here. Because
Shout out Wendy Williams. She was
Shout
my
out
first
to
taste of
Wendy.
fame too. That was my first show I ever went to. Like,
The Wendy Williams show.
yep,
I never knew
first
you went to a
one.
Wendy show.
I took my mom and Jasmine. Oh, I'm gonna say her name. My best friend. I forgot we were like on
Hey, best
air.
friend.
Hey, best friend. But yeah, drag them up to New York. I was like, I got Wendy Williams tickets. I'm all excited. That's like before I moved to LA because I was just like, what the hell can I do around here? I
That
was
is
just like,
so funny. Oh my
yep.
God.
And they interviewed me at that show too, because I was supposed to, ask Wendy. So
Mhm.
I was one of the Ask Wendy people, and they like
Right.
had the little microphone, and I was like, "Hey, Wendy,"
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But it looks like they cut my segment when we went to watch it back.